And welcome to another Review Room tutorial. Today we're going to be talking about and continuing the discussion on how to test your review room from the perspective of an applicant. So last time we came in, we submitted the application, we looked at the different task types, we talked about audit trails, we talked about all the different options that you can turn on and off, and today we're going to continue a little bit of that. First, I should mention that on the top right, we mentioned that in Google Chrome is a great browser because it's faster and more advanced than most browsers out there. And essentially, Google Chrome has this option where you can click on that little wrench on the top right and then click on New Incognito window. And the nice thing about that is it'll open a new window, and then you can in there go to your review room URL and then sign up as an applicant. And the cool thing about that is that you can be an administrator in one window and an applicant in another window, and Google Chrome allows you to do that, whereas other browsers don't. However, if for whatever reason you can't get Google Chrome, it is free, by the way, but if you can't get it, what you can do is, if you have two browsers, if you have Internet Explorer and if you have Firefox, for example, you can be logged in as an administrator in Internet Explorer and then as a applicant, for example, in Firefox. So you can play those multiple browsers together. Now, let's go back and show you something else, though. So that's from an applicant's perspective. But I'm using Google Chrome, so let's go to the page where I'm logged in as an administrator, and this is what it looks like. Usually when you first log in, obviously you're going to end up in the dashboard page, right? So when you first log in, this is what you're going to see. You're going to see the page here, nice graphics and everything, and then on your left you have your really nice menu. Okay. So what do you click on? If you click on Manage Users, you're going to see something really interesting. So in Manage Users, you're going to see every single user on the system. If they're an applicant, if they're an administrator, a reviewer, a recommender, whatever. Any reviewer, any group type that you have, the users will appear in this one screen. Okay, so if you take a look at this account, now this is the account that we created. I recognize the email address. This is the one. So if you wanted to see, while logged in as an administrator, what this person would see if they were to log in, there's this little person icon. So when I hover over it, it says Assume Role. So if I click on that, something magical is going to happen. You see that thing turning? That's basically logging me out as an administrator and then logging me back in as an applicant. So this is the replica, exactly what the applicant will see. And so as you scroll down, you can see everything the applicant will see, and you see that the application is submitted, so there's no modifications allowed, the person can only view, and that's it. So at this point, if you want to go back to be an administrator, you don't click on the back button in your browser, but rather you just click on this little link that says return to your admin account. So when you click on that, it's going to take you out, log you back in, and it's doing that processing, and it's going to get you back as an administrator. So if you don't have multiple browsers, then this is another way to do it. It's a little bit more work. It's nicer to have two browsers side by side, but if you don't want, you can also do this. Okay. There's one more thing I want to show you. And by the way, you can do that with judges and everyone else assume their role. Now, here are submissions. Let's go to global applicants, because the last application that we signed up as, the person was under global applicants. So let me click on that. And now it's going to show me all the applications under this group. Now, there's something that I should explain. You might be wondering, well, what's the difference between a user and an applicant? Or a submission. Applications and submissions are used interchangeably. So a user can have 10 applications, right? They could apply to 10 different categories of awards, right? Or an application can have 10 users in the sense that, well, it might be a team of 10 users that are co-applicants that are submitting this application. So that's the differentiation. That's why the two are separate. Now, under the global applicants, this is the application of the person that we were talking about. So if you actually click on this application, you're going to see something interesting. You're going to see that you can see this person's application, but you're still an administrator, right? And because you're an administrator, even though this is submitted, you can still make all the changes you want, view, edit, delete, etc. But if you notice, last time in Manage Users, we assumed the role of that person, so we actually became that person, and so we couldn't make these changes. But now I'm an administrator, and all I'm doing is I'm just viewing this application, and this is what it looks like. So let's just go back, and let's go back to the screen that we were on with the global applicants. And here it is. So there are multiple ways to test and manage users and manage applicants, or you can use multiple browsers. But that's pretty much it for this particular tutorial. We thank you for joining us.